Supposed to know that thing was so important to him. There was a plaque right next to it that said so. Yeah, well, I don't go to museums to read. I go there to steal.
Anyone else would have waited to offend their clients until after they were paid.
I'm not anyone else. I'm one of a kind, baby.
A fact that makes me wonder how much a museum might pay for you.
Idiots. Your stupidity may have doomed the universe.
Wouldn't be the first time, sweetheart.
Alright, so I have a few videos coming out that'll be based on violence in video games because I really need to get the word out. But this one will not touch on that. Just so I don't get any hate, because some people are not going to look this stuff up, what I'm actually talking about. There is no known correlation between violence in video games to violence in the real world. And that is the message I am trying to get across in those videos. So they will be coming out. They're about, like, the first one is about the average length of an episode of Arrow. The second one, I think, is going to be hopefully the same length, but it might be longer. And then I'm going to make a third one, which will be an essay, which will be used for your suggestions. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I have 4 pop figures coming out, and I'm not going to do a review, but I'm going to show off my collection later. I have one from Kingdom Hearts. I have a Spider-Man, another Marvel hero, and another Marvel hero. I want to see what you guys guess, based on those in the comments. And then, the other thing, Marvel, or the other thing is, this video is, ideas for Kingdom Hearts, 4, or whatever the next spin-off is. Let's start with the spin-off idea first, actually. I think it would be awesome if the spin-off lets you play as Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and you just get to do regular old shenanigans to help find Sora. And you know what, actually, we're not going to do like Kingdom Hearts 4 or anything. We're just going to do the spin-off because I can incorporate those ideas into the same thing. Basically, so you get to play as Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. And I guess maybe you can unlock Sora and stuff, whatever. But it would be awesome if they had a, you go through the usual worlds, you go through memories, and you go through, you remember the opening cutscene to Kingdom Hearts 3? You go through that world, because that seems like that's where they're taking it after Melody of Memory. But then, as secrets, when you beat the game, almost like a post-credit scene, even. In fact, actually, it should start with a post-credit scene. And then, bam, suddenly you're in the Marvel Universe. And I want to be able to, I think, it would be cool if you got outfits, or if your characters got outfits, for that world. Based on the... Okay, sorry, they're being really loud. It'd be cool if, Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Sora got new outfits based on the Marvel Universe. It'd be cool if Donald got something that looks like the, X-Men movies, outfits. Like, Cyclops or Wolverine from the first X-Men movie. And then, it'd be awesome if Goofy got something based on. I think he could have like one of the quantum suits from Endgame, and then Mickey, I guess, would get like something Captain America inspired. And then I think Sora should get something akin to the Fantastic Four. I think that would be awesome. And then you get to team up with Marvel heroes. So the it takes place in New York. That's the world, and so you get to and you get one of the Quinjets as a as like a gummy ship. But then you get to play. You get to team up with Marvel heroes like Iron Man and Hulk and Mr. Fantastic. But it would be cool if you also got summons. The 3 summons I think they should get are the Human Torch, Wolverine, and Captain America. So those summons you can take anywhere, whereas the other heroes you team up with are exclusively on that world. And then after you beat the Marvel world, I don't really know who the bosses would be, but after you beat the Marvel world, you get to go to the Death Star. And on the Death Star, you get to fight Heartless that look sort of like stormtroopers. And I think all of the the Keyblade, I guess you get from the Marvel world. I don't really know what that would look like. But I think all characters should get gear based on the Marvel world and on the Star Wars world. And then the Star Wars world, I think the Keyblades should all look like, or all of the weapons should be inspired by Star Wars in some way. Mickey and Sora get lightsabers. I think Sora should get a red one and Mickey should get a blue one. And then I guess Donald gets what looks like a small bubble or a small shield generator shield. That would be kind of cool. And Goofy, or no, Goofy gets the shield bubble, and Donald gets perhaps Donald just gets a double-bladed lightsaber or something. I don't know. I don't really know what would look like a wand. But Donald should be in like clone trooper gear. Goofy should be in Imperial Stormtrooper gear. Mickey should be in something akin to Darth Vader. Mickey should be in something akin to Qui-Gon. And Sora should be in something akin to Darth Vader. I think that would be cool. And then, the Heartless would be dressed up like Star Wars characters and stuff too. Or they wouldn't be dressed up like them, but they'd have looks inspired by them. And then once you beat those, you go to the Hercules Coliseum and 2 new cups open up. One is called the New York Cup, and the other is called the Death Star Cup. And so you just fight the enemies from those worlds, along with new bosses. There should be at least 2 bosses in each of the previous worlds, but the cups have 2 new bosses combined with the other 2 bosses that you already fought. So I guess the bosses in the New York Cup, or the bosses in New York, should be Proxima Midnight, is the first one you fight. or no, Whiplash from Iron Man 2 is the first one you fight, and Proxima Midnight is the second one you fight. But then the New York Cup should have both of them, plus Loki and Thanos. And then the Death Star Cup. So the Death Star should have you fight Darth Vader. What the fuck is going on with you? Should have you fight Darth Vader and Palpatine. But then the and the X-Wing. You can turn your gummy ship into the X-Wing. And then the Death Star Cup should have Darth Vader and Palpatine. But first you fight new bosses in the form of Kylo Ren and Anakin. Not necessarily in that order, but you know. And I guess allies in the allies for the Death Star should be Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan from the prequels, and Ahsoka. And then for summons, Ezra Bridger, Obi-Wan from the original series, and The Mandalorian. I think that would be sick. What do you guys think? Do you think that's good? I think that's really fucking good. And yeah, I think it would be really cool if that stuff didn't really impact the story in any way, because I don't really know if they should have it impact the story. But definitely, I think it would be an awesome little Easter egg if the Marvel stage, or the Marvel world, was the one you unlocked first. And it was a post-credit scene. So you unlock the Marvel world after the credits. It'd be cool if you're playing the game and at the end of the credits it says, a special thanks to Stan Lee and George Lucas. And then you're like, what the fuck? And then it lets you play the Marvel level and the Star Wars level. And you're like, what the fuck? Because, you know, if you're paying attention to the credits, which most people don't, admittedly, you just get that and you're like, Stan Lee and George Lucas, what the fuck is going on here? And then, boom. I think someone would shit themselves. You know, they're like live streaming it and for some reason the credits come on. And so maybe they're talking about the game during the credits, and then he looks at the TV and he's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, that would be awesome. So, and let me know what you guys think about this. I wanted to incorporate, you know, at least 6 Marvel heroes and at least 6 Star Wars characters. I guess heroes too. But I think the Marvel world should be like 45 minutes long at minimum, and the Star Wars world should be 30 minutes long at minimum. And then each of the cups are like 15 minutes long. That's assuming the Coliseum system is makes it past the first game. Because I actually haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts games past the first one, aside from Melody of Memory, so I don't know if the Coliseum is something you get to revisit in later entries. But if it's not, they should make it or something. That shit's cool. Okay, they're being loud again, and I got to, I don't really have much else to say anyways. So I'm going to end it here. See? So, yeah, I gotta go anyways. Don't have much else to say. Later.
All we can do now is keep moving. Please let us be in time.
Fight of your life.
Another base life form.
All right. Who wants some of this?
Go for broke.
This dumbass politician is trying to ban illegal video games. Violent video games. Like the dumbass he is. You wanna know what I have written here? Here's the PG version. This dumbass is gonna eat some Tide Pods and explode, then blame video games. Sorry about that. You wanna know the full version? This fucking dumbass is gonna eat some fucking Tide Pods and fucking explode, then blame video games like the fucking dumbass he is, just jerking off to his last fucking brain cell. And, yeah, I agree with every sentiment that I just put in that. Because he's gotta be some fucking type of retarded if he thinks that, there's a correlation to video games and violence. Like, whatsoever. I mean, maybe if you're fucking mentally deranged, but you'd be like, oh, look, in Mortal Kombat, I sliced a dude in two. I'm gonna fucking do that in real life. This blubbering fucking dumbass needs to get out of office and go to fucking college or some shit. I bet he has a fucking second grade level education. Like, oh my god. I'm not the brightest bulb in the what the fuck ever the term is, but get the fuck out of here with that. What studies have you done that prove this link? Look, you've just been like, Grand Theft Auto has carjacking. Carjacking, real life. Unga bunga. Like, oh my god. Dude, why just video games? I was watching Batman vs. TMNT earlier, and Shredder just put a fucking shuriken in this dude's face, while Ra's al Ghul just chopped the dude's head off. None of that's happening in real life. It's not just because you hit the button to do it in a video game. What the fuck is wrong with you? I really hope there are some actually smart people with whatever, because he's actually proposed a bill to get rid of this shit. I'm about to propose a bill to put my foot in his ass. So, yeah, like, this dude seems like the kind of kid that needed to get the belt a lot during childhood, because this is fucking ridiculous. Alright. You know, maybe if you'd stop being a dumbass, you wouldn't have gotten the belt so much. Bet you're gonna blame that on video games too, not just because you're an awful person. So, yeah, guys, help me out here. What are we supposed to do? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'll be breaking the law anyways if this bill goes into effect, because I'm just not dealing with this shit. No correlation, and you know what? In my opinion, this is governmental overreach. What I've said is you're supposed to keep people safe, and then serve whatever agenda you're supposed to serve, and get the fuck out of my life. You don't need to be censoring what kind of media I watch or play. So get the fuck out of here. I would probably incite protests, honestly. Not too crazy. But yeah, if this goes into effect, fuck you. I play a lot of violent video games, never assaulted anyone. Never jacked a car. I've played a lot of video games, I've never fucked a prostitute, killed her to get my money back, I'm just saying. That's not how people work. It's not monkey see, monkey do, you fucking dumbass. And if it fucking was, then fucking movies like Rambo and Batman vs. TMNT and Terminator, and not all of these are necessarily on the same level, but they've got violence in them, and no one's imitating that. And no one's imitating video games. What is one thing for a fucking fact that you can prove 100% is connected to video games? The Columbine guys, or the Columbine people said that they played Doom. You can't aim up or down in that one. Don't pretend like fucking Doom made you an expert marksman. There's never been any correlation aside from maybe excuses that the killers have done. And are you really going to trust the people that are killing other people to tell you what the truth is? Like, what the fuck, dude? Do you think violence just didn't exist 5 years ago? Why did I say 5 years ago? You think violence didn't exist like 40 years ago? Because that's just not true. Dude, in the fucking 40s, we had World War II, where Hitler committed atrocious war crimes. And the Holocaust, even, was part of that. You think that was video games too, you fucking dumbass? Guys, this guy, if he goes any further with this, needs to be fucking impeached or removed from his seat. This is fucking stupid. Also, do a research. Countless studies prove there's no correlation between video games and violence. Let me pull one up real quick. Video games cause violence. I'm finding a lot of searches about essays, but hold on. Study. There we go. That's what I fucking said. I don't like this website. Resolution on Violent Video Games, American Psychology Association. Let's see. Adopted by the APA Council of Representatives in August 2015, suggested citation is included with references. Video game... Alright, what fuck, dyslexia. Video game use has become pervasive in the American child's life. More than 90% of U.S. children play some kind of video game when considering the only adolescents 12 to 17, that figure rises up to 90%. Although high levels of video game use are often popularly associated with adolescents, children younger than age 8 who play video games spend a daily average of 69 minutes on handheld console games, 57 minutes on a computer game, and 45 minutes on mobile games. I don't know where this number came from. That is wrong, but let's continue. Right out 2013, considering the vast number of children and youth who use video games and that more than 85% of video games on the market contain some form of violence, the public has understandably been concerned about the effects that using violent video games may have on individuals, especially children and adolescents. New commentators often turn to violent video game use as a potential casual contributor to acts of mass homicide. The media point to perpetrators' gaming habits as either a reason that they have chosen to commit their crimes or as a method of training. This practice extends to at least as far back as the Columbine Massacre, 1999. And has more recently figured prominently in the investigation into the reporting of the Aurora CO Theater shootings. Yeah, during the Dark Knight in 2012. Wait, something else probably. When did that movie come? Irrelevant, Michael. And Washington Navy Yard Massacre. This coverage has contributed to significant public discussion as of the impacts of violent video game use. As a consequence of this popular perception, several efforts have been made to limit children's consumption of violent video games, to better educate parents about the effects of the content to which their children are being exposed, or both. Several jurisdictions have attempted to enact laws limiting the sale of violent video games to minors, and in 2011, the U.S. Supreme Court considered the issue in Brown v. Entertainment Merchants Association, concluding that the First Amendment fully protects violent speech, even for minors. In keeping the American Psychological Association's APA mission to advance the development, communication, and application of psychological knowledge to benefit society, the Task Force on Violent Media was formed to review the APA resolution on violence in video games, and interactive media adopted in 2005, and the related literature in order to ensure the APA's resolution on the topic continues to be informed by the best science currently available and that it accurately represents the research findings directly related to the topic. This resolution is based on the Task Force review and is an update of the 2005 resolution. Scientists have investigated the effects of violent video games for... This is really fucking long. Video game use for more than 2 decades. Multiple meta-analysis... analysis of the research have been conducted. What the fuck? Quantitative reviews. That doesn't sound right. Since APA's 2005 resolution that have focused on the effects of violent video game use have found a direct association between violent video games and aggressive outcomes. Anderson ETL. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's just a bunch of names. Although the effect sizes reported are all similar to, and that's just a bunch of random numbers, and respectively, the interpretations of these effects have varied dramatically, contributed to the public debate about the effects of violent video games. The link between violent video game exposure and aggressive behavior is one of the most studied and best established since the earlier meta-analysis of this link continues to be a reliable finding and shows good multi-method consistency across various representations of both violent video game exposure and aggressive behavior. Mahler and Cray 2009. Salim, Anderson, and Gentle 2012. Aggressive behavior examined in this research included experimental proxy paradigms such as the administration of a noise blast to a Confederate and self-report questionnaires. Peer nominations and teacher ratings of aggressiveness focused on behaviors including insults, threats, hitting, pushing, hair, pulling, biting, and other forms of verbal and physical aggression. These findings have also been seen over a range of samples, including those with older children, adolescent, and young adult participants. There is also consistency over time in the new findings are similar in effect to those from the past meta-analysis. Similarly, the research conducted since cognitions and aggressive effect as outcomes also show a direct of violent video game use. Hassan Begu, Scarcrow and Bushman, 2013, Schaefer, 2012. Researchers have also continued to find that violent video game use is associated with decreases in socially desirable behavior such as such as prosocial behavior, empathy, and moral engagement. With decreases in socially desirable engagement. That's not right either. Dude, my brother, I think maybe he plays video games a bit more than me because I do a lot of other stuff. He had a girlfriend, he's really nice with her. I'm hopefully finding someone soon. And, I mean, that's just not true. I guess it's hard to tell, because what's your control group going to be? I'm going to run an independent fucking study, let me tell you. What is your control group? Do you have, like, the best out? What we need to do is do a test on morality, do a test on empathy, and the people who fail the test, we boot out of the study, and then we get, we do the test again, and people who fail, boot out of the study, and so we get the high moral people, we put them in front of video games for 2 hours. A select group of video games. Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto, and, fuck it, Mario. Super Mario. Because you know what? We need to have a study of violent video games versus non-violent video games, so Mario will be our control group, I guess. So he'll be like the standard. And if the same thing that happens during Mario happens during Grand Theft Auto and, yeah, I'm gonna fund a study real quick, okay? I'm gonna fund a fucking study. I'm gonna be a fucking genius. So anyways, yeah, this is just fucking dumb, okay? This is, yeah. The violent video game literature uses a variety of terms and definitions, considering the socially desirable... Did I lose myself here? Socially desirable behavior. The violent video game literature uses a variety of terms and definitions in considering aggression and aggressive outcomes, sometimes using violence and aggression interchangeably or using aggression to represent the full range of aggressive outcomes studied, including multiple types and severity levels of associated behavior, cognitions, emotions, and neural processes. This breadth of coverage, is that how you spell that? What is that? Hold on. Boom. Breadth. To search breadth definition. Breadth is distance from side to side. Width, how to use breadth in it. Oh, okay, so it's... Alright. Breadth of coverage, but lack of precision in terminology has contributed to some debate about the effects of violent video game use in part of the numerous ways that violence and aggression have been considered stem from the multidisciplinary nature of the field. Epidemiologists, criminologists, physicians, and others approach the phenomena of aggression and violence from different perspectives than do psychologists, and emphasize different definitions of the phenomena accordingly. The international use of physical force or power that either results in or has a high likelihood of resulting in harm. Okay, wait, let me go back up. This is the definition of violence, I can skip that. Thus, all violence, including lethal violence, is aggression, but not all aggression is violence. This distinction is important for understanding the research literature, which has not focused on lethal violence as an outcome. Insufficient research has examined whether violent video game use causes lethal violence. The distinction is also important for considering the implications of the research and the interpreting popular press accounts of the research and its applicability to societal events. Resolution, consistent with the American Psychological Association's mission to advance the development, communication, and application of psychological knowledge to benefit the society and improve people's lives. This resolution on violent video games finds, whereas scientific research has demonstrated an association between violent video games use and both increases in aggressive behavior, aggressive affect, aggressive cognitions, and decreases in prosocial behavior, empathy, and moral engagement. Whereas there is a convergence of research finding across multiple methods of multiple samples with multiple types of measurements, demonstrating all existing quantitative... Fuck it. What's this word? Quantitative data is information about quantities and... Oh, okay. Reviews of violent video games literature have found a direct association between violent video games and use and aggressive outcomes. I don't think this is right. I think they're bullshitting. Well, now they're saying that they haven't found that link. Okay, so be it resolved that the American Psychological Association, APA, engage in public education and awareness activities, disseminating these findings to children, parents, teachers, judges, and others professionals work. Okay, so they didn't actually do a study. I think they just misread a bunch of studies. That was the APA.org. Psychologicalscience.org. Study finds no evidence that more violent, difficult video games spur violence. There we go. Spur aggression. Sorry, the word was cut off. I just assumed it said violence, but it says aggression. I really don't want to read anymore. Global video game revenues top more than $140 million every year, and esports are becoming just as competitive and potentially lucrative as other professional sports. Some of the most popular video games, including Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Rainbow Six Siege, Red Dead Redemption, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, and Call of Duty. Okay, Overwatch is not that violent, and Fortnite's not that violent. Feature violence of some kind. Okay, so you're just putting them in the same category because technically cartoon violence still counts. Feature violence of some kind, but the question still stands. Does violent in-game behavior have an impact on the real-world behavior? Some psychological studies have suggested that playing violent video games increase aggressive behavior on the basis that of experiments that compared the behavior of participants who played violent video games with those who played in non-violent video games. But critics say the findings fail to account for other possible factors, including differences in the mechanics of violent and non-violent games. To more directly answer the question, Joseph Hilgard of Illinois State University and colleagues, see, now this isn't just a bunch of names, they just fucking got the guy and the study, altered a single game to examine the unique influence of two aspects of gameplay, content and difficulty. The findings published in Psychological Science provide no evidence that either violent or difficult content intensifies players' aggression towards others. For the study, Hilgard and colleagues created 4 versions of the Doom 2 video game. The more violent versions contained enemy graphics and sounds borrowed from Brutal Doom, a game mod designed to make everything more extreme. Participants were tasked with defeating aliens, which resulted in the enemies all exploding in gory fashion. The less violent versions contained sillier-looking alien enemies drawn from Check's Quest. Rather than killing the aliens, participants were tasked with sending them home with their Zorcher. In the difficult versions of the game, the enemies fought back, and participants had to restart the level if they received too many hits. In the easy versions, the enemies simply walked slowly instead of directly attacking the players. Although the content and overall objective varied across the 4 versions, the gameplay remained the same. When the participants, all college-aged men, came to the lab, they completed a 5-minute writing assignment in which they described their views on abortion. They then received and rated another participant's essay. In reality, a fake essay chosen because it opposed the participants' stated beliefs. That's fucking clever. Wouldn't have thought about that. Following the writing task, the participants played... Oh, I see what you did. I see what you did there. You figured, yeah, like, it might offend some people, so you got that and wanted to see what they would do. Dude, gamers generally have tough skin. That's something I found. I mean, dude, if I'm playing as Batman 1 fucking second, what's the world... Fuck, I'm not gonna be offended. Like, dude, if I'm playing Batman or Spider-Man or Mortal Kombat and I'm getting my ass beat and I'm beating ass, some dude who's telling me I fucking suck at life is not gonna piss me off anymore. Unless he gets in my face. But if he gets in my face, he's getting punched. That's just how that works. And you can't blame that on video games. That's just how it works, alright? That's how the mafia works. Like, if you get in someone's face and you start, like, berating them, you get hit in the face. What do you... I mean, that's a personal attack. I'm not even concerned that you're berating me. I'm just concerned that you're in my face and I don't want you there. Can you get out of my face, please? Following the writing task, the participants played one of the versions of the video game for 15 minutes, after which they read feedback they had received on their own essay. The feedback, which was designed to provoke an emotional response, was the same for each participant, featuring low ratings and the comment, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever read." The researchers then measured participants' aggression by having them engage in an exercise that supposedly examined decision-making under distraction as part of the exercise. Participants, I'm getting dehydrated, chose how long their partner had to keep his hand in the water while performing the task. Data from 275 participants showed no indication that playing the more violent or more difficult versions of the game influenced the amount of time participants assigned their partner to be exposed to the cold water. In other words, neither game violence nor difficulty resulted in increased aggressive behavior toward an antagonistic partner. The researchers also examined another factor. Once expected as an indicator of male aggression, the ratio of index finger length, the ring finger length, scientists theorized that well, now you're just being fucking retarded if this is a real thing. That theorized that a low ratio reflects increased testosterone exposure in utero and is associated with aggressive behavior. But Hilgard and his team also found no relationship between this ratio and aggression. So that's the short version of it. Yeah, there's only like 3 more paragraphs, and I'm not reading them, okay? You guys got the point. There's nothing This actually quoted a study. This actually explained the study. This actually got the names of the people and where the research was conducted. The first thing just said, a bunch of study says this, when it really didn't. In fact, let's look at Hilgard. Let's see if the Hilgard study pops up on this resolution on violent video games from the APA. I am looking for Hilgard, the name Hilgard. There's a lot of Ferguson here. Anderson and Gentile. Okay, so it lists certain names or certain studies twice for some reason. Yeah, because I don't... It does not mention any Hilgard study here. I'm still looking. Suggested citation. American Psychological Association references. Here's the references. Because we read through this basically the whole website, guys. I skipped over some sentences, but it wasn't important. You guys can always also just go check these sources and actually look it up. And I know you guys know this stuff, but I'm mostly talking to any politicians who might be watching this, because, oh my god, you can't be this stupid. Brownie's pissed. That's my dog, by the way. Okay, yeah, there's no references to... So I don't know if this is right. Just one... How long have I been recording? Almost half an hour. Let's just do... Hold up. I want to know why USA Today is reporting this. USA Today, by the way, not a good search. Not a good... They're the news, right? And if they have an agenda, they're going to... So, I don't want to use this to discredit their point. Or actually, yes, I do. I don't want to use this to discredit what they're reporting. Just that I want to discredit them specifically because they didn't have anything to do with the study. And it's just dumb. Alright, you don't trust them. You can't trust a news reporter to tell you what a fucking scientific study is doing. They don't even mention the study. Okay, so, Seymour, because I'm not liking any of these. That's the news. The PNAS, what's that? Well, video games and aggression. This is Newswise, that's the fucking news. This is CNN. At least CNN said that it's unlikely to cause real-world violence, but, again, they're the news. Healthline. Do video games make kids saints or psychopaths? This says health news, but I don't know. So, oh my god, with these pop-ups, though. And more than 90% of kids play video games, and more than 90% of games rated E10 or above contain violence. What impact does this have on young children? On December 14th, 2012, 20-year-old Adam Lanza shot and killed 26 people at Sandy Hook Elementary School, including 20... What the fuck? How come I never heard of this? 20 children before committing suicide. In their struggle to understand why this tragedy occurred, public figures drew attention to the fact that Lanza was an avid video gamer. He played video games that glorify violence. That's a quote, by the way. That's not a thing. Like Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty. From there, dude, you want to know something whack? What's his name? Nicholas Cruz, I think. The guy who shot up the kid that shot up a school like a few years ago. He in Parkland, Florida. The media pointed out that he played a lot of video games, but the video game he played the most was based on My Little Pony. Allegedly, I guess. Allegedly. So, I mean, that's, a daily dose of violence. More than 90% of American kids play video games. The number... By the way, dude, I was playing Doom 3 when I was like 5. I wasn't any good at it, but I was playing it. I was playing Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy when I was... The original Game Boy. When I was 7? And that's not the most violent one, but, I was playing that a lot. And then there was a game on the Game Boy Advance that I played to fucking death, and I actually knew some of the fatalities for that one. I don't believe they were super violent because it was on the Game Boy, but on the Game Boy Advance. But I'm playing Mortal Kombat now, Mortal Kombat 11, and I'm playing Mortal Kombat X, I'm playing all this shit, and it's not affecting me at all. And I'm not special. In fact, I would think that anyone who is affected by this shit is special. 99% of boys, 94% of girls. It's not just kids playing either, according to the Entertainment Software Association, ESA. So, dude, if it's 90% of American kids, why isn't there more violence? Right? We all have violent thoughts, but no one ever fucking does it. Don't fucking tell me you've never had a violent thought in your life, by the way. Don't fucking tell me. Because I don't believe you. You'd be lying. I'd call you a fucking liar and a fucking dumbass. Gameplay is also on the rise. One study shows that average daily video game play among kids ages 8 to 18 rose from 26 minutes per day in 1999 to almost 110 minutes, nearly 2 hours per day, by 2009. The numbers were even higher for boys, 25% of whom play video games for 4 hours or more a day. Okay, I need to double check what I just read, because I read it right, but I thought of it wrong. So, and playing video games means playing violent video games. Yes, it does, but also not necessarily. But also, why is that sentence in here? It seems more than 90% of games rated E10 or above, E10, teen, or mature, have some kind of violent imagery, and that violence is often portrayed as justified, fun, and without negative consequences, write researchers Douglas Gentile and Craig Anderson of Iowa State University. The other thing is, if you have a specific thing you're looking for, you're more likely to see it in your study. Right? Like, you're doing a study and it has 2 effects and there's a lot of gray in it, or 2 possible effects, but there's a lot of gray in both of them. You're more inclined to see, like, well, look, this guy just fed his mom hot sauce. He's a dick. Rather than being like, well, it's just fucking hot sauce. I mean, I put hot sauce on my sandwich all the time. I'm not a fucking masochist. Even E-rated games, which the Entertainment Software Rating Board, ESRB, says are suitable for all ages and may contain minimal violence, are suspect. One study found that 35 of 55 E-rated games involved deliberate violence, and 33 reward violence or require violence to advance in the game. This study also found that 32% of games that did not have content description for violence, 14 games contained violence anyways. I'd like the names of these games, please. Video games, aggressions, and risky behavior. In the short term, it's fairly easy to measure the effects of violent video games. Sit a group of people down and have them play a violent or non-violent video game, and then measure the results of a slew of studies have found that in comparison to non-violent or pro-social video games, violent games promote feelings of hostility and aggression, desensitize the player to violence, and skew the player's perception of what constitutes violence. Wait, what? Alright, I read that, but I didn't understand it until I finished. I'm like, sorry, what? My diva! Diva! Come on, Nelly. How cozy, girly. Oh, you're so nice and warm. Come on. Hey, Jessie. Oh, the doggies just coming into my room at once, aren't they? Okay, so, yeah, like what? Do these effects last long term? To find out, scientists. So what is this particular player's perception of what constitutes violence? Do these effects last long term? To find out, scientists ran longitudinal studies tracking. Yeah, this is all. Before I finish this paragraph, this is all very fucking vague. Longitudinal studies tracking how the children's video game use changed over the time. With it measures aggression. One study tracked more than 30,000 kids for 3 years and found that playing violent video games increased their impulsiveness in a vicious cycle. Higher base levels of impulsiveness increased their video game use. A second study on the same set of kids also found increases in aggression. We know that violence in general is associated with mental health problems. We also know, given brain research, that our brain sometimes doesn't distinguish between what's real and what we see on TV. University of Texas, huh? Oh, I'm not going there for college. Another study published this year tracked 5,000 teenagers for 4 years and found that playing mature-rated video games predicted later risky behaviors. Play of these mature-rated risk-glorifying games was associated with subsequent increases in sensation-seeking, rebelliousness, hanging out with kids who smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol, thinking kids who drink and smoke are cool. You want to... What? Thinking kids who drink and smoke are cool, and thinking that one would like to try drinking and smoking. Okay, dude, I'm a level with you. Drinking is fine, I think. I've never had a drink, I don't know the sciences of drinking. But smoking, I have no interest in smoking. I have no interest in thinking it looks cool. My parents are chain smokers, but I'm not. I've never smoked anything. So that's... Explained Jay Hall, Department Chair of Psychological and Brain Sciences at Dartmouth College. In an interview with Healthline, in turn, changes in these variables were associated with subsequent changes in drinking, smoking, fighting, risky sex, and delinquent behavior. The effects were much stronger among kids who played violent video games with an antisocial protagonist, i.e. Grand Theft Auto 3, Manhunt, and a heroic protagonist, i.e. Spider-Man 2. What? How can you compare Spider-Man to anything from Grand Theft Auto? So you have antisocial like Grand Theft Auto and Manhunt, and heroic with Spider-Man, and they have the same results. Some tells me it's not even a violent game, by the way. Something tells me that that's not, Oh, fuck, I read that wrong, never mind. The effects were much stronger among kids who played violent video games with an antisocial protagonist, i.e. Grand Theft Auto 3 and Manhunt, than with a heroic protagonist, i.e. Spider-Man 2. So I'm just a dumbass, alright? Sorry.
Again?
I never claimed I wasn't.
Always ends like this.
Director of the Center for Health Promotion and Prevention Research with the... Okay, so this doesn't tell me how the study was done. This doesn't tell me what the study is called. This is vague. Vague as fuck, alright? Everything here is vague. We know that violence in general, whether it's being a victim of violence or just witnessing violence, is associated with mental health problems. She told Healthline, we also know, given the brain research, that our brain sometimes doesn't distinguish between what's real and what we see. What? I just read this quote earlier. She found that playing more than 2 hours a day of violent video games is linked much more strongly with depression than playing less than 2 hours a day with non-violent video games. No. This basically confirms what I was saying earlier. You have to have something wrong with you already, because just no. I have strong mental health, and I've been playing these games since I was like 5. I don't really know what to tell you guys. How come I've never shot up a school? Explain that. I have no interest in doing so. Explain that. However, other studies didn't find any such negative effects, or they found that the effect goes in the opposite direction. One study followed 324 elementary school students for a year and found that children who were aggressive at the beginning of the study were more likely to have grown to prefer bloody or brutal video games by the end of the study, suggesting that innate aggression can also lead to violent video games. Violent video game playing, on the other hand, didn't predict later aggression. Another study followed 302 kids for 1 year and found no connection between video games. Okay, so how many studies have we mentioned here? I think these studies are about half and half, but the ones that aren't that vague, or rather the one that wasn't that vague, had more convincing results. This is just listing a study and not necessarily showing what it was. And then it's mentioning, what's wrong, bro? What do you want to come in here? You want out now? If you want out, why are you looking at me? What do you want, guys? Did predict copycat crime. What? Criminal. Wait. Where the fuck was I? Another study followed 302 kids for 1 year and found no connection between video game violence, and aggression, violent crime, or bullying behaviors. Criminologist Ray Suritz of the University of Central Florida researched the video game playing habits of 249 inmates in a county jail. He found that video game playing did not predict who had committed copycat crimes. However, he did find that the degree of immersion in media, regardless of type, did predict a copycat crime. They have a list on the positive effects of, but I'm not gonna go through that. I don't. Forbes. Let's just go with headlines now. Forbes. New study shows that there is no link between violent video games and violence. Daily Wire. Danger of video games. It has almost nothing to do with violence. Awesome. No, there's still no link between video games and violence. Daily Wire. Video game playing, depression, and pre-adolescent youth. Well, that's just a question, really. That's not really. That's not really. Whatever. You guys get this, right? I need help putting together an essay. So I want ideas and I want links from you guys in the comments. I want the names of studies if you guys can help me out here. Both good and bad. I want to be able to quote studies in an essay that I'm going to be doing. Okay, guys. Does video game cause violence? This research asks you to think again. I don't know. So guys, I'm asking for your help down in the comments. Let me know what you guys can do to help this, because we need to really get through this before this bill goes into effect. I'm hoping it won't, and I don't think it will. But there's always a 10% chance of anything, really. You can never be like 100% certain of something. So yeah, thank you guys. There will be a part 2, and then there will be the essay.
Just keep on coming. Hey, can you reimburse me for web fluid?
Congratulations!
So I just want to narrow down the reasoning that I made the new Rockstars video. Normally I would just let it go. Like if there was genuinely some explanation they gave, or if there was anything really that I could believe, they took down. The video was like 3 minutes and 50 seconds, I believe, that they took down, and new Rockstars, I mean, and they claimed only 3 minutes and 40 seconds. What would I have taken in that video that's from them? Right? To be honest, I'm calling bullshit because the video was called Video Stream Part 3 or something like that. There's no way that there was anything from them in that. I think when I have those videos, it's because I'm doing, it was like when a while back when I was doing like live streams for Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff, and so that was just like the archive, whatever that YouTube it does. I didn't live stream their content. I don't do reactions. I haven't done reactions. That's not entirely true, actually. I did do a reaction for the Justice League, I believe. But I don't react to other people's content. I react to, like, guess what? Guess what? If the problem was that I was reacting, they just did a reaction for the Justice League Snyder Cut trailer. Personally, if I was WB, I'd take the hammer and put it on them. See how they like it. Diva, alright. I figure if I tag them in these videos that it'll gain traction and they won't try that shit again. Because right now I genuinely don't know if they're going to do that again. There was no reason for this. I do vaguely remember in one of my Plants vs. Zombies videos, I accidentally showed like 2 seconds of their footage, and I didn't have any sort of editing, so I couldn't just take that out. But 2 seconds. Exactly. The 2 seconds. Like, 120 frames is what we're talking about here. 120 frames. They showed a lot more than that in the Snyder Cut trailer that they just that EA Voss just reacted to. So what the fuck, guys? I kind of want that strike revoked or like pulled back. But honestly, I'm just gonna let you have this one. But I want, you know, the public knowing about this so that way it doesn't happen again. I feel like videos like these that stir up drama will get a lot more attention, and that attention is only needed for security. I'm not wanting anyone to go after them. They make great content. I think it's just one idiot behind the scenes that did that. I don't know, because they have like a whole team of people. So some guy could have just gone on there and was like, "Hey, that video, I don't like it. I'm personally offended by it." So yeah, I don't want anyone going after them. I do want that revoked, that strike revoked, but that's it. I'm not gonna make any more videos on this topic. But the only reason I'm trying to stir up drama in the first place, I'm not really trying to, but I want eyes on this so that way it doesn't happen again. Right? Because hey, if they get away with this one, for striking down a smaller YouTuber, such as myself, then they're just gonna keep doing that, right? Because I know for a fact there was nothing that warranted that strike. And if there was, they could have told me or given me a heads up. Instead, I just log on YouTube one day and find out, oh, hey, my shit's been taken down. Not very cool, guys. But yes, I was having technical difficulties like a fucking idiot in one of the Plants vs. Zombies videos, and I accidentally hit the play button when I went on YouTube, because I was watching their video and then I was like, you know what, I want to live stream Plants vs. Zombies. So then I hit the play button and then that started going. So that footage is still up there, but if you strike it for like 2 seconds of something that's uncontrollable, fuck you. However, this video was a different video that I didn't even know I had on my channel, and I'm theorizing that it was one of the stream videos because of the title of the video when it got pulled and the weird length of the video. But what could I have possibly put in my video from theirs that is 3 minutes and 40 seconds, according to what the tag that when it got pulled down said. Go watch one of their videos. They are so fucking long-winded. I could take like one sentence, one paragraph, and it'd be like 4 fucking hours long. And last I checked, they didn't make music. Because that length of the video fits some of what's taken, fits some music that I've seen posted to YouTube before, like by Taylor Swift, whatever. You know, it's usually like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And then Eminem has a bunch that are like 6 minutes. So I can see some of that shit. You know, like if I took music from their channel, if I just took a music video and posted it on my channel. But they don't do that. They don't make those. I didn't take shit from them. To be honest, I was kind of surprised because I watch them semi-regularly. I find their content funny. I find their theories to be kind of out there. And then weirdly they suggest theories and they debunk them acting like other people said that, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. But yeah, basically, they had no right to do this, and I'm trying to make sure they don't do it again. I will hopefully... I'll still continue watching them. But I'm only going to make a video if I absolutely have to. And if those videos get taken down too, well, that'll be a risky gambit, I suppose. But I need to put it on here I need to put it on the internet somewhere. Because this is just dumb. Hannah, your claw is stuck in my jacket. There you go. So yeah, I'm just trying to protect myself and my channel, so that's the only reason. Their names should never come out of my mouth again after this. I am also hoping that it's an imposter doing that, but I don't know. I don't know what reasons. The video had 0 views when it was removed, so I know for a fact that they didn't even watch it. And this isn't the first time this has happened to me, and it turned out not to be the creator that actually did it. But the video, when it was removed, had 0 views attached to it. So there's no fucking way. No fucking way they watched it and found that I had stolen something from them. So yeah, like I said, I'm hoping that it's someone impersonating them. But yeah, honestly, this is pretty fucking stupid. So as of now, I will never say their names again until I have cause to do so. Bye, guys.
Whatever's happening, we can beat it. Keep fighting.
Yes, my children. Keep fighting.
I'll have to show you first, won't I?
This is what I get for leaving a pawn like you to do the work of a king, Otto. As
much as I'd love to stay and play, there's still so much more that must be done. Fortunately, time is on my side.